Welcome, Coyote fans. Basically, I'm getting my engine bay closed up this week. We're in the final stretch to getting the motor in the car. A lot of painting going on right now. It's frightening how close John Deere yellow is to my zinc yellow on my car. I'm using it as hard primer. It's kind of nice paint to deal with, for one. Makes a great primer, and it'll not bleed through the zinc yellow when I coat it the final time. So I'm figuring out my wiring and where it's going to run. The power distribution box has the biggest connector that has to run through the firewall. You're looking at it right there. That guy has to go through somewhere, and my buddy Matthew Overbeek pointed out to me that it comes right through this connector here, which you cannot see. There's a whole... That's a bummer. Maybe you can see it in low lighting. There's a connector here I can kind of just barely fit it through. I've decided my power distribution box is going to go where my airbag used to be. This is the power distribution box. As you can see on the front cover of it, it's got a lot of useful LEDs. I'd like them to be visible from time to time, but not all the time. So I built this bracket that goes in where the airbag used to be, and it just slides in. There's two bolts that normally you'd have to have all this crap out from underneath it. You pull down the glove box, you remove a duct that runs here. You get to these two bolts, and then you can pull the passenger airbag, but I don't want it to do that. I want to be able to pull this bracket in and out. It's not going to look like this when I'm done. There's going to be a whole coating of paint on it, of course, and then a final piece of sound deadener over the top. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it that I use, but it's pretty thick stuff, and it helps keep the noise level down. I'll put that on top of there. Hopefully the thing won't rattle too much. Once it's in place, it should be pretty secure. So you might be asking, well, Paul, what about airbag passenger safety and all that stuff? We've been taught a lot about airbags, that how they help to make cars safer. No doubt about that. Side impact airbags I can kind of see some usefulness for. But this particular airbag comes from a 2000 Mustang GT, the one you're just looking at. And it's a Gen 1 airbag. It only deploys at one speed, and if you're an occupant under 100 pounds, you're more than likely going to be injured by it, not necessarily helped. The airbag industry adjusted, and now all the newer airbags, automotive industry adjusted rather, now all the newer airbags have weight sensors to tell what speed at which to deploy the bag. So that will tell me, that tells me it's not necessarily the best thing, and I see it as 8 pounds of questionable weight. If it were really obvious as a safety feature, I'd leave it, but it's not to me, and it's coming out, and I need the space anyway, so that's where all that goes. I can make more of these if anybody's interested. They're not that hard to make. I promise you the newer versions of it will look cleaner than that. There was some fitting, as a friend of mine would say. Can't remember his name. A few years back I used to work as a mechanical engineer, and he used to make a distinction between designers and fitters. I'm not the greatest fitter, but I can get the job done. Okay, over here on this side, and I should just use my light. I don't know why I'm not just grabbing that thing. You can see my progress for my battery relocation coming along. I'm running that through the fender there. Drilled the hole that holds the hood release cable. It's a tad larger, so I could run this cable, and there's a grommet that will squeeze into that hole like that. And I validated that that fits just fine. And I'm just starting through my routing. It's going to be an arduous task here. I've got to route this cable, get it through here and up and through here. It rides up and attaches to this and through onto the batteries. And then along the way at specific locations I will be just using some self-tapping screws and some Noah locks. That's the names of the stuff my buddy Cliff told me about. He's like, hey, you need to use this stuff. It's like a dielectric conductor for two dissimilar metals. So that'll let me tie down my multiple ground points without having to do welding, which is kind of one of my goals. So as you can see, my wiring is coming along. Once the wiring harness is through the firewall and in its final resting places, so to speak, I'm going to spend probably 2 or 3 days getting all the connections made and using everywhere I can MetroPack, WeatherPack, excuse me, connectors to get everything right. And I've got 2 brackets to make still. One of them here for the air cleaner, and that'll all, make a prettier arrangement there. That hole's pretty liberal, but you'll see there's a reason for that hole being that big. And then the other hole is here. That's going to be more formalized to hold the PCM or ECU, however you want to call it, engine control computer. And then here's my, you get a sense for where this mounts into the fender well over there. You'll see that be done much more professionally. Anyways, we're moving along. Just wanted to give you a status update for this week. It's been a very busy week, and I've made a lot of progress, although, it's like a lot of things you probably tune in and go, well, this guy's another inch down the road. But you may not notice, but we're entering a stage where the car is at its final build. At some point here, the engine pops back in, and we're not far from that point. So hold on to your hats, because when that hits, we're really going to have some fun. So anyways, hope you're enjoying this. Again, my name is Paul Ferris, and you can just tune into the web and look at my comments on this stuff on my website, which is coyotify.com, COYOTIFY.com. If you go there, there's a link for the blog and the forums. Forums aren't very active now except for spammers, but the blog I post to probably once a week, and you get a sense for how this looks. So hope you're enjoying it, and happy Coyotify modding.